Okay, Kevin, I understand that you will be giving out 5 pairs. That is 5 pairs of 3 days access worth $1,500 per ticket to 5 lucky viewers. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second episode of the 618 show with your host, Mr. Zeno, who happens to be the editor at Renotalk.com as well. This evening we have a very special guest. His name is Mr. Kevin Chan. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me over.
Thank you. Kevin flew all the way from our neighboring country, Malaysia, just to join us in this special event. Kevin is a BaZi consultant. Did I pronounce it correctly?
Depending which dialect you use, because BaZi in simple term is just 8 characters, so that's the direct translation. So if you are using Mandarin, then it's pronounced as BaZi. So if it's using Cantonese, then it's BaZi.
Okay, I think I use the Cantonese part because it's got my name in it. BaZi. Yeah. Okay, we will have Kevin to answer all my questions pertaining to Feng Shui and everything about metaphysics. We will tend to try to connect this issue with your home and with your house in particular, and also all the general stuff about Feng Shui. Without further ado, Kevin, can we begin?
Yes.
Okay, let's begin. Now, before we begin, I asked you how I pronounce it. How do I pronounce the word BaZi? So I decided to choose the term BaZi because yes, there's that Z part in my name. But BaZi is a term that is derived from. It's a Chinese term, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, can you just maybe share a little bit about the history of this BaZi term?
So, is in general sense, BaZi is just basically a date that was written using the old Chinese system. So in the olden day, we don't use a numbering system. They use a system which is called the 60 pillar system to write down the date. So when you write down the person's year of birth, month of birth, day of birth, and as well as the time of birth, it creates a grid whereby there is 8 separate characters. So that's why they call this system an 8 character system. So from this system, we pull information out of it and we all do a reading on it to be able to tell a person how their life path is going to be.
I see. Okay, no, that really sounds very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on. Okay, Kevin, now a bit about your background.
Yes.
You graduated from the University of Sydney with a Bachelor of Commerce degree,
yes,
majoring in econometric and finance.
Yep.
But then now you are practicing BaZi.
Yeah.
Can you share with us more about your, can I say metaphysics background? And did you study a related subject after you get your bachelor's of your Bachelor of Commerce? And how do you begin?
Well, so I think first of all, let's start with fellow parents. It's okay if your children study anything. They come up, they're probably not going to do the thing that they study anyway. So just be cool about it. Yeah. So what happened here is that I finished my study in University of Sydney, and unfortunately I came up during the Asian financial crisis. That would be like 99, 2000. So as a finance graduate, you come out during that time, and back in Malaysia, that was a time whereby all the banks were asked to merge. So if you are still in the finance line at that point in time, I think it's not really that good. So time passed by, I joined corporate. I was actually doing operation. So you see, I studied finance. I've never touched finance before, and I was doing operation for the past 15 years before I joined over to the metaphysics line. So a lot of people would have the fear that what if you have to restart everything again? So I restarted everything again. So what happened was the company that I worked with for 15 years, MNC company, listed company, the things that they like to do most is actually sell off the company. So the company that I worked with went into a merger with another company. So I was part of the smaller company. So you know what happened when you are part of the smaller company and you are in the senior management side of it. So that was prompted what we call a career crisis, especially after 15 years working in the same position. Right? You end up in a situation whereby you are too expertise inside that particular role.
Okay, I'm gonna cut you here for a 15 years of operations. Can you share with us which industry was this?
This is in record management industry.
Oh, okay.
So in Singapore, I'm sure you can mention company name.
Can, yeah, of course.
So I think you all would know Certis, your...
Oh yes, Certis Cisco. Certis Cisco, right?
Auxiliary police, right?
Yeah,
so they
yeah.
have a arm whereby they store record for all your police records.
Oh
so
yes.
Actually, that is the company that handles a lot of document storage. So document storage here means that, you know, all your accounts file, all your lawyer files, especially any thought of taxation paper that the company cannot store on their own. This company provide the warehousing to be stored.
Alright. So what happened after that?
So nothing, just the company just got took over. So it was during that particular year that I went for one of the talk that was given by Dato' Joey Yap. So that was I think was the first ever time that I bothered reading my own chart. So that prompted saying that, okay, next year you're going to have a bit of a career crisis. So at that point in time, I mean, like any normal people, you look at it, it's like, all right, great information. Then when you go back to the company, news started popping up. You know, people inside started talking about, you know, oh, they are selling off the company. Then as usual, corporate, you know, how they handle things, that they will tell you that, oh, this is normal exercise for a listed company. We do this most of the time, you know, got buyer is good, right? So they try to, you know, calm everybody down. But then that prompted is like, you know, is it really that bad or not? So it's like, you know, can it be really that, you know, you want to say accurate or you want to say that, you know, scary about it. So when the year kicks in that time, then they make the official announcement that they have, you know, concluded the entire sales process, and then we go into this merger phase, right? So you know, when you go into this phase, is basically, you know, you're a manager here, the other company also have the same position as manager. Then, so you know, you have to start to.
You're not the only one. I mean, a lot of people also.
So at that point in time, usual you go into the panic mode of, you know, oh, what's gonna happen to me and what happens here. That started me going to a lot of seminar, a lot of talks. You know, you try to, you know, go in and look at, you know, different skill set. So after went through that, you know, that particular year, I think every week I was going for, you know, seminar and talks. So it was like that sort of panic situation. So after a while already, you know, you go in, then I look at it. Hey, actually, this line, which is, you know, public speaking, could be a good line. Then only I sat down. I had a little bit of a background in reading BaZi chart a year before already. Actually, studied a bit, but like usual, I study already, you don't really actually use it. So then I sat down and looked at my own chart, and I start to analyze the chart and then look at it. Actually, this is a movable line for me to do. Then I go and get myself certified as a professional trainer.
With Dato' Joey?
No, it's actually with a different organization.
Okay.
So I was doing training for trainer actually. I don't know if Singapore have you know, a trainer.
Trainer, yes.
The trainer program is a similar program, but it was offered by UK. So I did that, and then after that, you have to basically, you know, have a topic to do. Then I realized that, you know, Chinese metaphysics is a good niche market to do. Then I went on to a formal training with Dato' to basically pick up this skill, and did a switch over to this line.
Wow. Okay, viewers, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to define metaphysics. Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong. In the basic definition, this is what I get from Google. Metaphysics is the branch of philosophy that treats of first principles, includes ontology and cosmology, and is intimately connected with epistemology. So it's kind of deep, but this is the most simplest definition. Okay, let's go on to the next question, Kevin. You are an author of Kevin Chan BaZi. This is a blog that focuses on metaphysics and BaZi. And also, you're an author of a book titled BaZi, The Road to Success. What was your inspiration behind this sharing of knowledge?
Alright, so the blog started because I couldn't remember the material.
Okay.
So that's why I started, you know, copying the material down onto a blog, so that it also act as a platform of a sharing. And at the same time also, at that point in time, right, so again, when you look back onto the chart that I have, something that was lacking was actually a star that helped with expression. So that's why I need to practice this. When you don't have the thing, you want to practice this. So
Okay.
I've chosen the electronic platform to basically start sharing this out. So as time goes by, as my knowledge accumulate and more practice basically go into, then have a little bit of thought. So that's why at that point in time, I was thinking like, what can I leave behind? So writing a book is something that is more to legacy to me. So I have 2 little children, and most of the time with children and parents, that the children actually doesn't know what the parent do. Okay, it's very normal for our normal society. So I was thinking like, what can I leave them? Something that they can be proud of. So
Legacy
that's why the book came out.
Wow.
And the book basically, again, it helps with people who just start with this, who doesn't want to go through the textbook jargon of everything. So we give you a very simple example based book so that you can start reading and start referring and start the reading that you're basically doing.
Wow. Okay, I'm just gonna share your blog address, guys. If you guys want to check out his blog, that it is Kevin Chan BaZi. I'm gonna spell it out for you. That is Kevin without any space. It's CHANBAZI. So again, that's Kevin CHANBAZI. Then that is where you guys can also purchase your book. You can viewers purchase your book through your blog?
Not through from my blog,
Okay.
though. You have to go through Joey bookstore to basically buy it.
Okay. All right. We will share more about Dato' Joey and his expertise later on in the part of the show. Okay, Kevin. Now is the part where I'm going to talk about your expertise. Are you ready? Okay. Now, do you have an area where you focus in terms of feng shui? In that general sense, or are you like au fait with all aspects of metaphysics? I know feng shui is a huge genre, so is there like one area where you focus, or you just like au fait in everything?
Alright, Z, if you don't mind, I would like to reverse a little bit back. So
Okay.
just now we gave a definition on metaphysics, right? That is actually an English definition of the
Yes,
so,
I have to do.
when you look at Chinese metaphysics, there's just 5 different schools. So if you look at it, it's like when you talk about science, you have your chemistry, you got your biology, you have your physics, right? So in Chinese metaphysics, we also have different area of school. So mainly there are 5 different area that we look at. So we talk about them is mountain, medicinal, divination, life, which is a destiny analysis, and also physiognomy. Alright, so these are the 5 major schools. So if you look at it, feng shui is under the physiognomy art. So this have to do with qi distribution on planet Earth. So for us, it's basically just contour study. We study the contour and look at how qi basically flow and how we can tap and use the qi. That is basically feng shui. Then you have your destiny analysis, which is the BaZi portion of it.
Okay.
So this is a different school. So this one is just now that I've described. This look at the time of your birth, what is the energy that has actually been incepted to you. So through this energy, we can see how you basically respond to the external environment. So you are basically just a thinking machine that given you any external stimulus, you would think in a different manner. So everybody have a different characteristic, or you call personality.
Yes.
So from understanding this personality, we can project how you will respond to a situation. So your BaZi chart would also tell you your theme of what is happening. So it is not magical that we can guess what you're doing. Most of the time we are just extrapolating and guessing. Then there is the part which is divination. So divination, today we would mostly use art which is called Qi Men Dun Jia. So this one, you look at it as a single situation. We are assessing the component that lead to that particular situation, and then we are deciding whether what are the plausible path that we can do to handle the situation. So that is basically a divination portion of it.
Wow.
Okay, so medicinal, very normal. There will be Chinese medicine, the TCM portion.
TCM, okay.
So in JY we don't practice that. So and the mountain art, this is the one that is a bit more difficult. This is self-cultivation. So in the olden day, you are talking about martial art, you're talking about Tai Chi, you're talking about Qigong. So these are the one which is to cultivate yourself. So these are the 5 separate arts that we do. So when you look at it from a perspective of problem solving, we actually use all of them. So depending on what problem that you are handling at this point in time. So like for example, you look at it, do we just use feng shui? So when you come to us, most of the time it's because something is not going well.
Yeah.
So we actually have to take a look at the entire situation here. Are you having a situation whereby it is brought by the current circumstances, which is your BaZi? Your BaZi is basically going through a lot whereby it is tough. Is it that is the situation? If that is the situation, we just need to make you understand how to respond to that particular situation. Or is it because it's really the harmonious of your office or your house that is causing the problem? It could be your BaZi got absolutely no problem, you're going through well, but because of certain circumstances, the chi flow which is stuck, doesn't work. So those we need to take a look. Or is it just purely circumstantial? It's just an isolated incident, so we look at it, we understand the situation, then we know that this is an isolated situation, so we can use Qi-men or a diminutive method to basically unstuck the situation. So it really depends on what you want to do. But among all of these feng shui happen to be the most popular one, because feng shui doesn't need the person to agree. Because feng shui, we are adjusting the environment, you see. As long as you are in the environment, I've adjusted the environment, the qi will basically change you from external to within. Whereas BaZi is very different. BaZi, I need you to understand the situation, I need you to accept the situation, and I need you to agree to certain action that you will do to change your personality. Then only the BaZi makes sense. And even for Qi-men is that I need you to agree to execution. So that part of it, there's a bit of a negotiation. If you are resistant to it, very difficult to do. But feng shui, whether you're resistant or not, as long as I have access to your environment, I can change your environment, it will work. So that's why it's popular.
Wow, I'm actually kind of blown away. Actually, Kevin, thank you so much for that sharing. Viewers, please stay tuned. I'm gonna ask I'm gonna ask more deeper question, I must say, to Kevin. Kevin, so much for the explanation. I thought that was really profound and simple at the same time, but yet it's so understandable. Okay, Kevin, now is the part where I'm gonna leverage your expertise. Viewers, please listen closely. Now, Renotalk, right, is primarily a renovation platform. We are headquartered in Singapore, and we encourage everyone to talk and engage in everything about renovation. One of the subjects that we covered was feng shui in the house. I think we did a few coverage about that. We asked other experts, I must say, in the industry. Like, for example, what will be an auspicious design for my home? Now, generally speaking, before one step inside the interior of the house, what can they do to improve his or her career or wealth? Again, I'll ask the question again. Viewers, listen attentively. Generally speaking, before someone enter the interior of their house, what can they do to improve his or her career or wealth? Generally.
Okay, so let's go again a bit more broader first. So when you are looking at feng shui, so there are two components, external, internal. So just now you were asking about the internal portion. So more importantly, usually we need to look at the external portion of it. So we call that a landform study. It is not something that you would practice in a broad sense, because it is not easy. And second thing is that we understand you can't move the building. So that is one of the means. So actually, when the best time for you to do a feng shui, provided that it is possible, is before you build anything actually. So we can decide. So when you look at the feng shui, important thing is usually three components. They always work in three components. The direction where the qi is coming, the direction where the qi is exiting, then how can you tap onto the qi. So direction qi coming usually is where the mountain direction is. So just now I've described to you, it is a contour study. So we will model qi by using water. So water travel from high place to low place. So that one we confirm, we know by science already. Right? So we model qi to that. So when we know that the mountain is in that direction, so I know the qi is coming from that direction. One component I got already. Second thing is to know the exit. Exit we'll look at water, because water will go out in the lowest point, right? So we know that the water will basically go out, the chi will basically go out.
The flow.
Yes, so those are what we call water mouth or we call chi mouth. So with these two components, I would have known how the chi is flowing in that piece of land. So the last component is that where to point the building so that I can receive the chi. So I'm actually trying to cut the chi from going out straight away. It passed by my house first, and then I have a facing, which is where the chi is being received. So right now, when you're looking at landform, when you have a building that has already been built, so you are facing with one small problem is that you cannot do any changing. So I can change the mountain, definitely I can't do that, right? So I also cannot change the building itself, right? So very limited that you can do, but at the same time, we do need to take a look at the landform because that constitutes 70% of the entire feng shui. So then when we are done with that already, right? So now the component that you ask, my career, my business, my work, how do I know if it's good or not? Then that will be the door of your premise. How do you go? So the point whereby the chi comes in. Right, the point. So now if you connect these two together, right? If externally you are not having a good chi flow, right? Whatever you connect to is not quite useful. You see, you have limited chi coming in. So you want good flow of chi, then you find a place whereby the door should be placed at a good sector. So this is where we need to do a chi mapping. So when we come to your place, right, when we do the measurement and everything, what we are trying to achieve is actually trying to get a chi map of your premise. So from the chi map of your premise, then we are able to ascertain, what is the quality or how can a person leverage on the entire chi. So normal sense, if you are looking at a very basic, so you like to have wealth. So we will try to find where is the wealth sector.
Everybody wants wealth.
Hopefully, your door is over there. Okay.
I see.
So if you are a landed property, you can still change your door. If you are a condo, then it's next to impossible. So again, but if you are selecting the place, haven't buy yet, you always have 4 unit, right? Because a normal condo, you have left, right, front, back, right. One of the doors should be better. That would be the prime consideration.
Flat left also can, of course.
Also the same.
It's the same, right?
The same. Because when you design a building, usually it's a mirror image. So it's like if your door is this side, then the neighbor door will be this side.
Yeah.
So that's mirror, right? So and then your neighbor door will be like this, correct? So if you put the chi map onto it, you will have 4 different chi points that you're looking at. So you're just assessing which are the chi point which is better. Better also, you need to take a look at what you are doing. Like for example, like you right now, you are basically in media, so you deal more with faith. Okay, so you put it in a way like if I put you in a house whereby it's termed as wealth, right? You will get a lot of work. But you actually don't get paid by your work. You get paid by fame, you see.
明白，我明白。
So a fame house would do better for you than a work house. Wealth is actually just give you more work only. So sometimes, you need to understand that are you looking for more work or is your income derived from a different component?
Wow.
So that is something that you have to study a bit.
Wow, thank you so much for that answer. Okay, Kevin, next, right, I'm going to ask you to take a live example. Before that, if you want to grab a drink, let's grab a drink. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry. Okay, Kevin, thank you so much for sharing a little bit about myself.
Yeah.
Actually, I wanted to ask, okay, now guys, I'm going to ask Kevin to take a live example. Me.
Yeah.
Kevin, do I have the luck? How do I improve my success? And this question, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna ask this live. Kevin, can you be wrong? Again, do I have the luck? How do I improve my success? And can you be wrong?
Right. So let us answer it in reverse.
Let me sit back.
So let's answer. Can I be wrong or not first? Now, depending on your chart, if let's say your chart is bad, you want me to be wrong.
Okay. Oh yeah. Well,
no, sometimes
the true parts lah.
No, sometimes is that when you're asking, right, is this accurate or not? you need to go in with a bit of a caveat here. If this is 100% accurate, I mean I can't change anything. Provided it is good, then you are happy lah. If it's bad, right, I think it will be traumatizing to people. Now, go into perspective a bit. Why in the olden day, it is more accurate. Because olden day a lot of things cannot change. Really, if you are born in a farming community, right, confirm you're a farmer. You can't change much, right?
That's
so
true.
that's why in the olden day. But for us today, a lot of things is changeable. There's a lot of free will. It's like my dad is an engineer, so I have nothing to do with engineering today. It's fine, right? Same, right? For us today, if your father is a doctor, you don't need to be a doctor.
Yeah.
In the olden day, if your father is a medicinal person, you will be a medicinal person because that's what your father can teach you. So like today what we do is that we want to look at the chart situation and basically assess potential. So when we talk to you about the potential, right, it doesn't necessarily mean it will come true, because why? Potential you still need to study, right? I can look at this, you're very good at singing, but for the past 30 years you have not been through any singing training before. You're not gonna sing well, it's like. But if you go through a singing training compared to another person where the chart have no singing capacity, you would learn the entire singing process much faster than the other guy. So maybe the other guy take 10 years, right? You will maybe take 2 years to get everything done. So that is the difference. So we want to understand the capacity of the person, right? So go a little bit back. So we look at your capacity.
Okay.
So yours, right? Okay. So I'm gonna go a little bit more jargon based here, but it's fine, guys. Alright. If you don't understand right now, it's okay. We got classes.
Wait, before you go on, this is not edited, this is live. So I never tell Kevin to say either the bad or the good. So yeah, just listen. This is all about me. Okay. So
Okay.
Kevin,
So we all start with your chart is basically a resource structure. I know this is a very foreign term for you, so it is just a structure. So when you're talking about resource structure, you are a very fact-based person. So you like data, you like information, so you like to study and you like to scrutinize things. You basically like to find out. So you would do a lot of research, a lot of find out to basically make yourself feel comfortable.
不是 kepo.
This is not kepo.
Okay,
this is
kepo.
not
Okay.
kepo. Okay, kepo is a different one.
Okay.
Kepo is a different one. Alright. So now what happened here? The negative side of doing this is that you usually is a bit more slower when it comes to making a decision. Okay. So because you require quite large amount of data to make yourself comfortable to move on. Alright, so safety would be the main concern of you. So everything you need to be confirmed, you want to be safe, then only you move on. So if let's say that in this industry, so you are doing broadcasting industry, right? Type of job that is very similar to this one is basically a news broadcaster, somebody who deal with fact. Alright, so those are the ones that so if I ask you to do what you call celebrity tabloid sensationalization, you won't do too good of a job. Alright, because you will find out too much information about the case. By the time you find enough information, the sensation already gone. So that wouldn't be helpful. Right?
That'd be too late.
Yeah, that is a bit too late. So next we look at your wealth capacity, right? So here's the thing, you are currently you look at it, right? You would move into what we call your wealth luck at the age of 44. Okay, at the age of 44. So you have not kicked in yet. So when the wealth luck kick in, right, you would have basically 60 years worth of good wealth coming in.
Wow!
Now is the
Now I'm
interesting part.
sitting on the edge of my seat.
What you need to do to basically leverage on.
Okay.
That would be the interesting part. So first you need to understand wealth luck first, right? So wealth luck, the luck comes means that more opportunity for you to basically get a finished product out to the market to exchange for money. So a lot of people have this conception, wealth luck bring you money. Wealth luck don't bring money. I just straight away tell you there is no money in wealth luck. So what happened here is that would anybody give you a stack of money for free? No one, right?
Of course not.
So it is always through an exchange. So you need to have a finished product. So the wealth luck basically give you your determination, it give you your persistency, it give you your hard working to finish a product. So you translate it back to the olden day, right? So farm more vegetable. I got more vegetable, I sell, I got more money.
Okay.
Fisherman, go out fish more, right? Got more fish, right? So those are the when you come well. So during this time, people will be coming to you, telling you that, do you have this for me? If you have, I have the money to purchase from you. So right now, you look at it. So from your side of it, because of a resource structure, your main commodity is basically information. So right now is that, can you collect enough information? So for this structure, usually certification help.
Wow.
Certification is the proof that you have the information. That's what certificate do, right? So you finish a study, everything, they give you a cert, right? So that cert basically tell you that I have finished study this, I have this knowledge, correct?
Yeah.
So like for you, right, if you can, right, provided you like, you go for your MBA, you go for
Oh my God, Joey, Kevin, you are scaring me. I have to cut you here.
Yeah.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, whatever Kevin said is very, very true. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. Okay, no one knows. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our viewers. We have my producer here and all that lah. Today, right, I am going for my course interview session at SMU for the course in Master in Communication Management.
Cool.
And Kevin had just mentioned. Actually, I'm having goosebumps right now. That one of the ways that I can excel in myself is to get more accreditation. So this is BaZi. The BaZi chart is really work lah. So wow.
So one more good news for you. This year November would be a big good news for you. So you are doing this, right? You should expect quite a good career jump in November.
Wow. Okay. Let's go lah.
Last one.
Okay,
Don't process too much. If the thing comes, right, just take it.
明白. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm not gonna ask the next part lah, which I'm gonna ask about the wealth capacity, but Kevin has already shared that. Kevin, now back to you. You have been involved in so many projects, I'm sure. How do you ensure? I don't know whether this even this is a right question to ask or even a proper question to ask, but I'm just gonna ask it. Okay. How do you ensure your clients keep coming back to you, and how do you stand out among other similar professionals such as you?
I think here's the thing. This industry recently during this time is getting more and more popular. It's coming more and more into the mainstream right now. So what get people keep coming back is basically track record. That will be really good, and of course the organization that you basically are attached with, with Joey Consulting, right? They give you a lot of access to previous consult that they have done. So as a corporation, they function more like your law firm, your account firm. They have a lot of records. So a lot of us, when we are doing Chinese metaphysics, doing outside, right, the biggest problem is that they don't keep records. They come to your house, they talk, on a piece of paper, they scribble, they give you the piece of paper, you have no record of it. So what we do is that we actually keep records. So we have reports that we send to customer. So you always have the report as a reference. Yeah. So every year when they come back for what we call a top up, so a yearly assessment that we basically do to them. Alright, so they will be able to see the progress. The important thing is basically looking at progression that we are doing things. So these are the things that is a bit more different when we handle a case.
I see. Okay, you mentioned his name I think a few times in our show. I'm just going to mention his name again. His name is Dato' Joey Yap. Take about 5 minutes to share with our viewers who he is and how he had played a significant part in your life. Again, Dato' Joey Yap.
So when I first met him, it was actually through a book. It's called Destiny Code. Back then, he was not Dato' yet.
Okay. So
passed by, saw the book. It was like first time picking up a book in English and read it and you put it on, hey, this is something that I can study. So that was the first time I actually met. So it was 2 years later that I went for his live course. So that's why I was saying that I do have a bit of background from studying his literature, which is actually quite good. So a lot of things that is able to. Then after I have studied it and then I have started my blog, doing a lot of writing itself. Then I decided to basically went for a parentership with Dato'. Okay, so that is where the experience of handling live cases basically come in. So that is also when I finish writing my book. It's like at that point in time, it's like talking about do I self-publish the book? Do I find a publisher? And then when I was talking to Dato, it's like we can actually do the book printing. They have a book publishing arm anyway. So I just passed the manuscript to them, and then the book is done. It was pretty much quite okay. So over the year, the difference that I see in Dato is that he handled the industry more like business. So this is more practical way of basically getting things done instead of most of people who would go on a theoretical sense. Big difference. What the classical text written in the olden day is quite applicable to the olden day situation. So like the example is this accurate? Olden day very accurate because why, right? Society is quite fixed. It's very easy. You can't change, right? So that becomes very accurate. But today, right, your chart is not good. No problem at all. You need to understand why it is not good. Then how can you fix? Like just get back to your example right now. It's like so I know you think a lot. Is that a problem or not? It's a problem if you need to make quick decision. It is not a problem under normal circumstances. So once you know this already, right, how can you go over this small little problem right now? So normal advice that I give to people, right, you need to start moving like how your handphone is. Handphone out, when you launch the handphone out, right, it usually doesn't really work out, the apps inside. So what they do 1.0 patching, 1.1 patching, 1.2 patching. So same thing. So you start out with a set of information that you know that probably is lacking, but you make a decision based on that set of information. You move forward. Then when new information come in, you make another decision on top of that decision. So you see, you can adjust your decision making. So a lot of people think that decision making is a one-time effect, which is actually wrong. You don't make a decision based on the entire story. So it's like a lot of people tell you, like, if you want to reach the staircase of success, right, you just have to see the next step. You don't have to see the entire staircase, right? Okay. Just move one step at a time. That will basically play really well with the chart that you have. So you just have to practice this. So can you practice that, or will you practice that? Yeah. That one I have to leave back to you. I can't force you to
up to the person.
Agree or participate with this, right?
Wow.
So now, if you put it in Feng Shui, right? So it's a bit different already. I can set up your house in such a way that it forces you to move forward.
Okay.
Then this complement your chart. Okay, you have a tendency of wanting to hold back, find information, but your house Feng Shui, I set it up so that you will always move forward. So the house basically are more geared toward risk taking. Now you can complement each other. So your house will force you to move forward, while you yourself will do the consideration. So you put in together, you become a force whereby that you would keep on pushing forwards while waiting for information. At the same time, you will still gather information. So always gather information, push forward. So this helps you go inside. So this is what we usually do when we talk about problem solving.
Wow. Okay. Thank you once again, Kevin. Okay, Kevin. We have come to about I must say the end of the show, lah. But before that, I believe you have a giveaway today.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. The details is. The details are happening on the 22nd of June 2019 to the 25th of June 2019 at Singapore Expo Hall 2, which is in Singapore. Dato' Joya will be holding a live session titled Grow Rich with BaZi 2019. Now, this live event promises a whole new level of learning and is designed to cement your proficiency, understanding, and thoroughness in BaZi in particular and Feng Shui in general.
Yes.
Correct? You will not only get to meet Dato' Joya and the team up close. Kevin, are you going to be there?
Yes.
Kevin's going to be there as well. But you also get to meet the coaches and other respectable industry experts. Okay, Kevin, I understand that you will be giving out 5 pairs. That is 5 pairs of 3 days access worth $1,500 per ticket to 5 lucky viewers. This thing is exclusive, okay? It's not for all. I will say it again. It is 5 pairs of 3 days full access worth $1,500 per ticket. Okay. now the details, what you have to do. Viewers, listen up attentively, please, closely. Okay, at the comment section right now, do this hashtag, grow rich with BaZi SG. SG stands for Singapore, so it's X, grow rich with BaZi SG. I'll spell it out, GROWRICHWITH So that's a hex sign. Please like and share this video. Now this is the part where Kevin will take a look and he will decide, which is comment within 28 words, on why you deserve to be a part of this event, which is Grow Rich with BaZi 2019. I'll say it again, comment within 28 words on why you deserve to be a part of this event, which is Grow Rich with BaZi 2019. Kevin will then take a look at it and he will decide. So again, comment within 28 words on why you deserve to be a part of the event, which is Grow Rich with BaZi 2019. Did I get everything correct, Kevin?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have finally come, not finally lah, so we have come to the end of the show. I just want to demystify the viewers' perception lah. Or rather other people's perception about this industry, about players in this particular industry, that they tend to be stiff and serious and all that. But I don't think Kevin is that stiff kind of a guy. So Kevin, I have this tin here, which is sponsored by Renotalk. Okay, inside this tin are all questions. They are just silly questions like our first interviewee, he came in, our first guest, I must say, he answered about him being in IMH is Sialang Keng lah, rumah hospital, orang gila lah, something like that. So and then he just answered casually. Kevin, I'm going to invite you. If you are okay, then we can do it.
Of course.
Okay, alright, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. Kevin and his our tin of the tin of silly questions. Here we go. Please read out your questions and answer.
The lucky question is, what interior design trend do you like the most and why?
Yeah, these are not silly. Okay, this is something real. Okay, but again, Kevin is I don't know whether Kevin is au fait with all interior design, but I think it's a very brilliant question. I don't know why. Again, you all see, we all never plan or whatever. Kevin, your answer please.
Interior design, I think the one that I like the most is multifunctional furniture. So I really love those design whereby you have the bed, that can fold up to the wall, and then you have your your table that's basically can keep up, and then you can just clear the entire room, and then suddenly you can transform your room into a room. I really love those. Really, I would personally like to buy one of those bed that can transform to table. The bed that you pull down is a bed at night, and then you just fold it back up and it become a study table. I love those tables, but it's unfortunately not really available in Malaysia. It's in the term that is very expensive to get one in Malaysia.
Okay, but Kevin, if you want to find out more about renovation style, and particularly maybe you can find inspiration behind your furniture lah, just visit Renotalk.com, and I personally invite you to check out our website. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a very informative session interviewing Mr. Kevin Chan. Once again, Kevin, I'd like to say thank you so much for taking your time off your heavy schedule.
Me over.
Yeah, thank you so much. I enjoyed tremendously. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question, queries, or anything to do about this show, the 618 show, please drop me an email at z@renotalk.com. Alright guys, so if you guys want to find out more about Kevin and about Dato' Joey Yap and Team Joey Yap, please check out his website at joeyyap.com, which is joeyyap.com. That's joeyyap.com if you want to find out more about the world of Chinese metaphysics, Feng Shui, and everything about the whole genre and subject and industry. Me personally, after what Kevin has shared with me, of course I'm gonna find out more lah. Oh, and also if you guys want to find out more about the event that's happening at the end of this month, also please visit joeyyap.com to find out more about the details and how you can get your very own tickets. Once again, this has been Zeno, and this is the 618 show. I'll see you again at the next episode. Thank you so much. Goodbye.